It's July 28th, 2013, and you're watching Mods on Air.
2 FPS, 3 RPGs, and 5 sim-type games.
Yeah.
I think you'd be able to come up with one here.
I'm actually pulling this one hard.
Ask all the people that need hacks to play Call of Duty. I can hear you groaning inwardly every time Sin's mentioned. You're just cringing.
Alright, welcome everyone to episode 387 of Mods on Air, bringing you the week in gaming news as modders, developers, and gamers. I am foyleman, and also on the show today we have with us Ham. Hello, Ham.
Hey.
Hey, and we also have with us Stryder. Hello, Stryder.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. Alright, so before we begin, let me remind you all that the show is recorded before a live audience, of which you may be a part. Anyone can listen and message about the topics as we discuss them, and we will try and post some URLs into the chat window for you to follow along, but only if it looks like it came from one of us should you click on it. Other people may send you to nefarious places. Finally, for those of you who haven't heard the show before, there may be some explicit language, adult themes, or big words.
Big words. Big words.
Big adult words.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always possible.
All right. Hope everyone's doing all right out there.
In TV land. Hello, in
TV
TV
land.
land.
And just to be fair, so that we cover all bases, I hope people are not doing well.
Wow. I
Yeah.
hope some of you are right where you want to be.
Equal opportunity.
Yeah.
We don't want to leave anybody out, so all
Exactly.
you people out there.
I don't
And
know.
for all
Don't
you
make me look.
atheists, nothing happens to you when you die.
Don't make me look up the helpline and start throwing the number up on the screen. But you know what? If you do really need some help, you're welcome to mail us at mailbag@modsonair.com, and we'll see what we can do for you.
Are you serious? We're going to do this again?
All right, we
Car
got.
won't start.
There was
Oh.
questions about rashes before.
Oh, I didn't. I numbered some topics, but not other topics, so it's going to be one of those. Let's see if I can find the right topic to talk about. And that's not it. That's how we create an email. Where's the right document? Okay, so let's talk about some PlayStation 4 stuff. They're saying that PlayStation 4 is looking a little bit, the GUI I should say, is looking a little bit like Windows 8. Let's see.
Hooray.
Wasn't the GUI
Not
from
that.
Windows 8 looking a little bit like
There it
iOS?
There's Windows 8.
No, I wouldn't say so.
No. Here's Windows 8. That doesn't look like iOS.
Well, it looks like a cluttered iOS.
Okay,
Looks
I'll
like
go
a
for that.
cluster.
Substantially.
Clustered. Cluster. CF. Yes. What is that?
Let's
That
see,
looks like
PlayStation.
Steam. But it's not.
Well,
It's Sony.
I'm supposing
That's
that's the new GUI.
I don't. So what? Why is that a problem?
Which one is the new GUI? Is that one that's sort of golden colored? I think this might be the old. I don't know. Actually, I don't know what that lighter blue picture is.
I don't have a problem with it as long as it works.
I do have a problem with it. I think
Why?
it's too much. Look how small the actual image of the game that you want to play, that you want to launch is over to the left.
Yeah.
It's and how much else that non-essential stuff there is on the right. You should see the titles, and there should be a button to start them all, and then if you want to see all the extra stuff, there should be a button that says like more. And,
So
and
you
you
think
click
it should-
that.
What
and
They
about
it'll
the
should
show you
people
all
invert
the
that
stuff.
can't read?
I think
iOS, the iOS with the little icons, and Windows 8 with their little charms, which are just little icons. Those are designed for people that are illiterate. They
Yeah, that
need
makes
to
sense.
have that. They need to have that little like. And if you've got more than one icon or charm or app with the same picture, you are fucked because you don't know which one to press, and there's all sorts of confusion and angry letters, and you know what, this is too hard, I'm not playing with it anymore. And that's what they're developing for, is these people that just they want monkeys to be able to use their equipment. Hey, our equipment's so simple a monkey can use it. Oh, this is too hard for me. Well, what does that tell you about you, Hoopy? Like, it just
Oopie. Well, from a designer's point of view, I've always felt that it was nice to have symbols and icons, just because if you look to places like Europe where they've got lots of symbols and icons and they work pretty well, and the idea behind that was that they've got so many different countries and they all speak so many different languages that you need some iconography that looks that can work across all languages, and so that's why you've got sort of
like Germany
some nice
with their
things.
golden eagles and swastikas, and it
Yes.
just drew everybody together. That iconology, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. We're not, as a species, we are not that retarded that we have to regress to non-verbal communication or non-written communication where it has to be a picture. We're going back to cave paintings.
Well, I think reality begs to differ because this is what's happening.
This is what happens when you allow people in universities to do their thesis statements in interpretive dance. This is what happens to society.
Mm-hmm.
We are getting dumber by the minute.
I actually think there's some regression. If you look at Vista and Windows 7, they replace the start button that said start with an icon, and the reason that was a good thing was because they didn't have to include at least, I mean, they did behind the scenes, but they didn't necessarily have to include a spot in the registry with a different word in all different languages. So it was a start here, it was a Willkommen somewhere else, or
I don't believe that. I believe that it was done to save on prime desk space or desktop space, because your screens aren't, back when they took the word start out of there, your screen wasn't as big as it was now, and the best resolution you could get was 800 by 600. So if you had the icon with the word start on there, or whatever language it was, whether it was a 3-character Chinese word or whatever, it was taking up space, and it was taking up a good chunk of your screen.
Yeah, it was.
especially depending upon the language. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I think the fact that they've taken it down to that was I don't believe it was a language thing, because they've got to program those languages in anyways. You
That's
download
true.
the language pack and it automatically changes all welcomes to welcome and all that stuff. So I don't know. I don't buy your argument there.
No, it's a good point. It's a really good point. The reason I said they regressed in any case is because with Windows 8, it says start on the start screen, and you can't get rid of that, at least not easily. And so that's back in and I imagine every language it's permanently there, especially in the languages where start translates to something much longer. You got that right across the
It
start
doesn't even
screen.
fit on the screen, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't like these newer designs. I don't agree with them.
I don't know. I don't think I have a problem with it, because I'm assuming that we're looking at here in this screenshot is I entered to play this game. So go ahead and press start. It's not like this is the first screen I see when I turn it on.
Right. Now, okay, on a console or on a phone, that's fine. Don't be putting that shit on my desktop, is essentially where I was going with this.
Oh,
Windows
okay.
8 is horrible.
agree.
If you want to have
I agree.
little charms and little icons on your phone, because really you don't have room for big long descriptions there. But don't be making it so that PC users have to be as stupid or unintellectual as the average phone operator. They're creating, like, how long is it going to be until we're absolutely amazed by fire again? Like, ooh, fire, oh, hot, huh?
I was just playing with a lighter before we started the show.
Oh, we're already there.
Case in point.
I just
Fuck.
I can understand the need to go back to basics when you have high resolution screens, you may not have the horsepower to have these high resolution images. So you want to use basic colors. Plus, there's this idea that basic and bold colors can actually help you identify things. But when you have stuff stacked together in this manner, we're looking at the screen of the Windows 8. It's so bad. It's just so bad. You look at it, and especially when you have those live tiles moving all over the place, look at it. It's like, what is this? Why would I want to use this, and why is this better? And that's the thing. I think Microsoft, they feel as if they know better, and what they're telling you actively with Windows 8 is that you were wrong to use a desktop. This because you are not who we want to target, and if
you're not who we want you to be.
Wrong.
We want you to be somebody else. We're going to force you to change to something else.
You're not our target demographic.
Yeah. And excuse the billions and billions of dollars that we've made in the last 10 years, but we were wrong to try and make you use that stuff. This is what you should be doing. I agree with you. It's stupid. It is stupid.
And Morphus posted that picture in the chat. It's AOL from 1996 and Windows 8 in 2012, sort of showing how backwards it all is.
I'll trust a link from Morphus, but that's it.
Actually, it isn't too bad, but it's I just proof in the pudding as well. Just pop Minecraft. What are we doing playing an 8-bit game again? What is that all about?
Well, Minecraft is a playground. That's like saying, what is a child doing playing with Legos?
Minecraft is Lego.
Legos are cool.
But we don't need a new game of Lego.
Well,
it is. I can understand a fascination with it temporarily, but now it's developing this whole voxel-based 8-bit gaming world. Like, it's being forced into other games too. It's
right.
It's horrible. We have not technologically hit a wall, and we're like bouncing back. It seems like that's what we're doing. We're being thrown back from this wall. But just develop new shit. Put a little bit of effort into things. But everybody's, let's just do something easy. I know. Let's go retro because we haven't done that for a year. And then,
well, it's true that Minecraft is inspiring lots of voxel-based games that all look and feel the same way, and a lot of them have the same themes as well, where you're placed in this big randomly generated world, and only some of the details are slightly different. And I don't like it either.
What we need is Minecraft with 8-bit sounds too. And then we could do like Minecraft Frogger, where you got to play this little 8-bit frog that has to jump across a highway. Oh wait, that was done like 4 years ago.
In 2 years, while we can continue this minimalistic approach, in 2 years we'll end up with that one-button game. Press here, done, win.
Press start to win.
That's right, one button, one color, one block. That's everything.
Maybe that should be my next game. You press start and it says you won.
You win.
That's the entire game.
Actually, if you don't press start fast enough, then you lose.
Make it a two-player. Make it co-op.
Co-op.
with leaderboards.
Press start to win co-op.
Well, here's the thing.
Massive multiplayer.
In today's games, you can't lose because it makes people feel bad, and it damages their confidence. So people can't lose. So
fuck people.
if you don't press it fast enough.
If you are that fragile of a shell, you shouldn't even be alive. Your mother should have ate you when your bones were soft. You need to grow some balls. Fuck. Nobody is that fragile. And if you are, you're a spoiled douchebag.
So I was listening to a radio show earlier this week, and there was a person on the phone with the host, and they were saying how they were at a birthday party and they were playing musical chairs with their children, and So everybody, I hope, knows how musical chairs works. There's less chairs than there are people, and once the music stops, you have to sit down, and the person who does not make it to a chair, they get ousted. And so this happens, and it's time for a child to lose, and they start crying. And so mother's like, all right, fine, just have a chair, have another chair, and then so it happens again, and somebody else, has to lose, and so these children start crying because they're losing, and eventually the parents just sort of stop and say, look, we can't have our children play this because it damages their confidence. True story.
What? Seriously, people, you need to beat your kids. If they start crying for no fucking reason, give them a reason to cry.
It's called the School of Hard Knocks.
This is ridiculous. If you cannot play musical chairs, you know what? Go sit in the retard corner. You were too stupid to get a chair when the music stopped. Now you're crying, so you get to sit in the retard corner.
Maybe
if you got balls, you can just be like, oh, you know what? I lost. You guys enjoy yourselves. Good time. I'll stand over here, wait until the game is done, because that's how it's played. What are we doing? We're rewarding mediocrity as a society.
Well,
that's horrible. Exactly. What are they going to? They're going to be a basket case in the real world.
They're
going to go to. They're going to go to work, and their boss is going to say, "Excuse me, Mrs. XYZ, can I please get you to do this filing?" And she'll start bawling. Well, why are you so mean to me?
They already do that.
Well, slap the bitch. Play a game called Slap a Hoe. We're destroying ourselves. I don't know what the terrorists in the Middle East, they got nothing to worry about, because in 5 years we're just going to have destroyed ourselves. We are morally bankrupt.
All right.
All I'm saying is nobody loses and press start to win.
Nobody loses here. You're all winners.
Guess what? Somebody has to lose. Because you know what? If nobody loses, then there is no winners. That means you're all losers.
But I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Not for long. All right.
I am angry about that. That was a bad topic.
Well, Windows 8 inspires.
Yeah.
Lots of that.
That's true. Oh boy. Okay.
Windows
what
8
else is
inspiring losers since 2012.
What else is going on with PlayStation is we have the Oculus. The Oculus Rift
Seriously?
is supposed to be quite possibly hitting PlayStation
Why would they do
exclusively.
that?
I think it's a
Why
good move.
wouldn't
Exclusively?
No, not
an exclusive
exclusively.
concept?
Exclusively.
I don't know. What is?
I
an
don't see
exclusive
the Oculus
concept?
working on a console.
Why not?
I see it selling like crazy.
I see it selling, but I don't see it working.
Oh, it doesn't matter if it works.
As long as it sells.
I mean, look at the 3D TV.
The reason I say that, Ham, is that if you have that thing on and you're playing with the console games move slower. So when it's
Right.
moving slower, it's choppier. You're going to end up with massive vomitings.
That's true. That's a good point.
I like the idea of connect games with the Oculus with multiple people.
Yeah, that's
in the room
natural. That's natural selection. Is all that is.
Exactly.
Hey,
In order for the Oculus to be implemented properly and not cause motion sickness, you have to be able to have that responsiveness where if you're looking left to right and up and down and stuff like that, it is moving as fast as you. With the console controller, you can't do that.
right. Well, all the demos I've played with the Oculus, have seen it being played well, at least use a controller. But there is something to be said because you need a high frequency display to sort of sync with your head movements.
Yeah.
I think it should be on consoles. It'd be nice to introduce consoles to the world of headsets, but I don't know, if you can't move it as fast, then you just need simpler games. You need, I don't know, a Minecraft or something.
Exactly. So what is the point? There,
I don't know.
put it on a PC. Your PC can handle that. Put it with a game like Battlefield or what's that? The one where we thought it would do well in, where you were in that mech.
Hawken, yeah.
Hawken. You know, that's a game where I really think it would do well. But putting the Oculus on so you can, even a racing simulator game would do well with it.
Yeah.
Where you could look around in your car as well as driving.
I think I like the possibility, even if the games don't necessarily warrant its existence on the PlayStation. I like that it's there as a feature, as a possibility. I'm not gonna say anything against it. I think it's a good move to support it at least. Even if people buy it and there's nothing worth playing with it, they can always use it on the PC afterwards.
Unfortunately, I believe that we're going to see this come out, and you're going to see on the face of that Oculus, you're going to see a Call of Duty or a Battlefield brand logo, and that's what it's going to be, and it's going to be bolted on to something that it wasn't designed for. Not, it's not going to be part of their initial design scope where they're saying, you know what, we're going to design it around this aspect. It's going to be bolted on, and it's not going to do well. And I think, unfortunately, it's not going to do well. It's not going to be received well because of that. And then it's going to create an anomaly in the market where people are going to say, you know what, it's not everything it should be or could be, and we're just not going to use it anymore. It could be a victim. It could be a victim of that just because of poor implementation.
And the solution, of course, is for people to make games that are Oculus Rift first, designed around it first, and then other control schemes conceived later on. But how many people are going to do that?
Has the Oculus actually even been released yet?
No, not even this year.
Exactly. So why are you going to develop a game for something that's been promised and still not physically released into a retail market?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, to be at the head of the game.
To get the Kickstarter going.
Yeah, so you can get Kickstarter money. Well, we were going to release this game, but you know what? Oculus just never released, so we couldn't. So thanks for your money. Bye.
It's the Phantom PC of the Kickstarter generation. Right? Can you see that?
We're the Kickstarter generation.
Right.
We're the zombie Kickstarter generation. We need to start a Kickstarter so we can create zombies.
You know that Phantom console would have been on Kickstarter.
Yes, it absolutely would have been.
At least 3 times. And it would have been fully funded at least 3 times.
Yes, it would have.
So the Rift it's scheduled to come out in 2014. I don't think they've really nailed down a date more specific than that. Just 2014.
They've got problems with suppliers. They can't get enough duct tape.
Yeah. Well, Sony's supposedly also doing their own, which then makes no sense. Although Sony's version is supposed to be like very expensive and high end.
Whoa. I like Star Trek.
I know.
Jordan.
But we've seen this. You remember? They originally showed it without any kind of head thing. You had to hold it to your eyes. Then eventually they put this weird contraption on your head that they probably made from a hard hat, Ray-Bans, and then and now somebody created this looking thing that they're saying might be used in the medical world.
Is that a camera, or is that where you plug the USB in? Plug it directly into your brain.
There's something I forgot to put in the show topics, and I saw a video earlier this week of NVIDIA trying their own sort of headset. But I'll have to look it up really quickly.
Well, NVIDIA is trying something of their own. They're trying that the new mobile. Is it a chipset actually? Yeah, that's hardware. The new mobile hardware that they're trying to play with. Only I covered everything.
Kepler,
find it.
Like bringing Kepler to mobiles.
That kind of idea. Yes. Wow, I can't find anything. They're calling it Project Logan, and actually they put together this facework thing, this video here that's supposed to be. They're showing off the facial animations and
one of the most detailed digital models of the human face.
This is on a tablet.
We first introduced Ira a few months ago at the GPU Technology Conference.
Which I assume is supposed to be
Computer
real time on a
graphics have
tablet.
amazed people for years, but they've fallen short in one thing that's most important to telling a good story: the human face. Not only does Ira look real, but this is all generated in real time.
Ira does not
His
look
skin
real.
has bumps and blemishes that move and stretch.
Maybe they'll
as
give
Ira
Siri a
blinks and
face.
grimaces. Those imperfections make Ira far more real than the fake, rubbery faces generated by previous generations of graphics technology. Ira has always been shown using a GeForce Titan graphics card, the highest performing single chip GeForce ever. While Kepler is the world's most efficient GPU architecture, this demo was intense. Running at a full HD resolution and using a full Kepler, 7 billion.
Then why isn't
transistors
his
more
mouth
than
moving with the
250
words?
watts.
Why isn't he saying this?
Today we have something special to show you.
He recently had a nose job. That's why his upper lip moves
Ira
funny.
is now mobile. This is our reference tablet platform running our next-gen mobile system-on-chip, Project Logan. Embedded in Project Logan is the first mobile Kepler GPU. Kepler is the first GPU architecture
Kepler.
designed to scale from supercomputers all the way down to mobile devices. Unlike the 250-watt demo on Titan, this demo is running in a mobile power profile between 2 to 3 watts. And even more amazing, the first Logan silicon came back from the fab only a couple weeks ago. This is demonstrating a lot of performance, power, and
Okay, you
stability
get the
with
idea.
performance trade-offs.
So I'm now
to
skipping
produce
ahead, you can
smaller
follow
textures
them.
and fewer rendered targets. This all comes at a slight reduction in quality, but much faster performance.
Okay, so you get the idea of what's happening here. We got NVIDIA is actually doing some other stuff.
Yeah.
Well-
So I just found it. It says I just read the headline. It says NVIDIA researches near eye light field display prototype.
I do
And so-
remember seeing something like that.
Yeah, it's basically another device you put over your eyes, basically, that tries to encompass your entire field of vision.
Yeah, I still think it's just a fad, this whole thing with wearing the goggles.
I don't know. I went and saw a movie and saw another preview for the Google Glass thing.
It just looks so stupid to me.
You think? Because I want a heads-up display for my life.
I want it, but I want it for different reasons. I want it because I want a HUD for my when I'm riding the motorcycle.
For your health.
For my health. A health HUD, so I can see how well I'm doing that day.
It's low. Why am I not regenning? So you can look at a girl and it just says, nope, STD. Yep. I'm even going to talk to her.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk to somebody wearing one, and not because I'm freaked out that somebody could be recording me or anything crazy like that, but just
I'm
because.
recording you right now.
Yeah. See. so obviously I'm not freaked out about that, but it's
The
just,
NSA is always recording you.
of course.
Ooh. Don't get him started on that.
Yeah. But it's just I can't really accept that someone's attention is not undivided when they're talking to me with one of those things on.
Or
And
that somebody's feeding you lines. I'm just reading. Sorry.
and even beyond that, even if someone's attention was not divided, it was solely focused on me, my attention is going to be on that stupid thing that you're wearing. I just if it looked better, I think.
See, I don't think you'll even realize it's there. At first, you'll see it and you'll be like, "Oh, what's that?" Interested, but as soon as your interest wanes from what's on his head, you won't see it.
It's a square block in front of one of his eyes.
I could say the same thing about somebody wearing glasses.
Well, I don't
Just
know.
regular glasses.
And this is in no way impeding anything that I'm seeing.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like an eye patch. It's like a weird eye patch.
Arr!
Yeah. And it's like no
How long
matter.
till people pirate it. That means two things.
No matter how
think-
normal this conversation seems, I am noticing your eye patch.
Okay, see, you're either going to be talking to somebody that you know, and you're not going to, and maybe your guard will be down enough that you won't care, or you're going to be talking to somebody that you don't know, and they're not going to give a damn about you or what you look like, or who you are. I saw a video recently. That was interesting. Somebody tried this thing I guess I don't know where it was. A group of people were walking around and asking other people for strangers for directions somewhere. They'd walk up to them and say, "Hey, I'm trying to go to the police station for whatever reason," and mid conversation, what they did was they forced somebody to walk between them, holding a box or something, and so they have to separate, step out of the way, and then go back together and continue their conversation, and they would actually exchange the whatever they're carrying and change people.
I've seen those
mid conversation. Yeah. And at one point, they even did it where they started out with a guy, and then they're talking to a girl. They didn't even catch on to that.
It's funny, in as a viewer, you're like, how could people not notice? And that's the thing I'm wondering: how could people not notice? Mm-hmm. And like, how many
because
people do
you
they have
give
to go
people
through?
Too much credit.
Because unfortunately, it's because society. And everybody is like this, lives in the me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're so, every one of us is so dumbfounded that there actually is anything out there that is not all about me.
Right. So I want the Google Glass. So you're going to accept it.
That's just the
but
way
it's
not
about
about
you,
me.
It's about me.
I almost feel like I wouldn't be so against Google Glass if they just looked better. It just looks so dumb to me.
Well, how can you can't even put sunglasses on over top of them because it's
no, but you can get
projecting
lenses.
Screens, so
you can get lenses that go with it.
Yeah,
turn them into sunglasses.
I'd say just integrate them into ski goggles or something that's already sort of big and blocky.
Somebody does that now.
The Oculus Rift.
Something. The Oculus Rift.
Wow.
Integrate them into that. Everybody's walking around with these horse blinders on and a cardboard box in front of their face, so they can't see anything but what their little tunnel vision thing. And if I don't want to see you, I can block you, Ham, and I don't see you anymore.
Oh, imagine that.
What is this? There's this blacked out spot everywhere I look. Well, that's where Ham is. But, and on the screen, he's blacked out. And you can unfriend people by just sorry, you're gone. It's just like that. This is silly. This is what and we make light of it, but this is what's going to happen.
Probably so.
Ooh, that would be interesting, Morphus. Actually,
people with a little bit too much power are just going to remove people.
The Kinect can see people. You can use these things to detect what a person is. Then you can use these photo editing things that remove people from the scene, and you can just remove people you don't want from your life. Never have to see them or hear them or anything again because you're just plugged into this. Literally gone.
I think this is a great premise for a movie.
Yep. See, there's another one from Morphus. My wife is now Megan Fox. See? Now, what if you had change your cat into Megan Fox? Your cat's always running around the house and clawing at the curtains. Megan, stop clawing at the curtains.
Who loves Kitty? Ew.
Morphus, that one's too close to reality. Or could be. Okay, so Xbox...
You were joking, now you're just...
So Xbox is going on to say, let you know that they're recording the last 5 minutes of everything you do at all times.
No, that's the NSA.
Oh, that's right. Thank goodness for the Kinect. They're recording the last 5 minutes of gameplay. But, that's another point. They don't mention whether or not they're actually recording the last 5 minutes of the Kinect at the same time.
Yeah. Which I'd imagine they probably do because they want to record your reactions and things like that.
Yeah.
For the triple
certain
Xbox.
games do that.
It's going to get weird. Somebody's going to put out one of those games, and they're going to say, you want to see the last 5 minutes of your gameplay, and they're going to show a picture of you.
So, recently there was news that Microsoft is going to allow self-publishing, so
Yes.
an indie titles platform is going to be backed for Xbox One. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Maybe I might get one. And then the first comment says like that's not enough of a redemption to have this sort of NSA connected box that's required to have a camera always on staring at you. That's not enough to be in my living room. And then it sort of brought me back to reality. Like, yes, even with the self-publishing being there, it's not enough to sway me because it's just the entire existence of this console as it is a violation of my privacy. It just is. It's
So wait,
required to have a camera on.
the purpose of them making it easy for developers to publish their games was the purpose of hiding the fact that they have NSA
No.
stuff going on.
No. Just so there was a big argument from the independent developer community, like, okay, well, with the Xbox One, I won't be able to self-publish. So and Sony's got us covered in that end, and the PC, as well as mobile platform. So forget the Xbox One for independent developers. I shouldn't need a publisher to make to release a good game. And they recently sort of came out. Microsoft came out and
Correct.
said we will allow publishing.
Just
But the
like they do
comment-
with Apple. They said
Right.
it would be like the Apple Store.
Yeah. The comment though that I saw for the article basically said like that's all well and good, but this don't forget the idea that this is still a box that's always watching you,
Okay.
always listening, and just because they brought back in self-publishing, it's not good enough to warrant its existence as this thing in your living room that's always on, always watching you. And that sort of grounded me a little bit because I got excited, like, oh, this is great, so I can continue to make games for these consoles. But it's not enough for me. There's got to be some way to not have that connect on, to turn off recording, all that stuff. It just I can't. I can't be okay with that as it stands. Plus, it's like $500. I'm not gonna pay.
I'm
not gonna pay.
Cheap.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to pay $500 for something that's potentially always watching me, and I don't want to get into all of it, but just to say, that even though these companies say, "Oh, well, we're not going to watch you," or it's impossible to have somebody sort of spy and snoop on you through these services, it's obviously a lie because there's been all sorts of reversals of that stuff after the fact, after it's been revealed. Like, hey, somebody can't snoop on you, and they're like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
we kind of give them everything they want.
Yeah. And so the person that thinks that they're thinking clearly may say, well, why would they be interested in your home? That's crazy. And there's so many different connected Xboxes. Why would they do that? And
Because they can.
because they can, and it's been said by the chief of the NSA that their job, as best as they can, is to collect everything and then sort it out later. And so it's naive to think that they wouldn't just collect it and then worry about its importance later. So
There is CNET News saying the feds are saying they want all the master encryption keys for the for the SSL from all the internet providers.
Right. They want every website, not necessarily providers, but every website because every website owner can have their own SSL certificate and so forth. So it can't necessarily be down to the host himself. They want every website to submit the key basically that allows things to be undecoded once it's encoded for 2048 or 128 or 1024-bit encryption that happens when you go to a website that starts with HTTPS. That's like any shopping cart and stuff like that.
All the secure websites.
So when you do that, what you're doing is going to a secure website, and if that lock actually shows up on your browser window, meaning that it is technically encrypted properly, they want the thing that unlocks that on their end only. Well, so that they can unlock everything that's supposed to be locked. Yeah.
So, am I okay with a console recording the last 5 minutes of gameplay? I am not.
As long as it's a feature you can turn on and off.
As long as it's a feature I can turn on and off. But
Otherwise, it's like having something in your house that's constantly streaming to them. That's what this is. And they're just telling you that they're saving the last few minutes.
Yeah.
The only way that I know that you're saving the last 5 minutes because you recorded everything and said, all right, that was 55 minutes long. Let's delete the first 50. Oh, wait, we forgot to delete the first 50.
Let's just not, let's not fully delete it. Let's just make it inaccessible.
So, I mean,
to you.
Realistically, these are great and amazing features if they weren't so if this weren't such a climate of abuse. And that's really the problem. Like, technology is great and these are lovely things to have, but when you've got people who are sort of abusing that power and those abilities.
That's well put.
Yeah, it sucks. So, and
I like it. I'm actually going to write that down.
Microsoft is unfortunately just they're not making it easy to like them lately at all for anything. But I'm telling you, there's some conspiracy going on for Microsoft to just do this to themselves. This is happening from the inside.
It's the Steve Jobs memorandum.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs initiative. Let us fuck Microsoft. From my deathbed.
That was probably his little sort of
his last words. Fuck Microsoft.
His last name order was like, when I die, we need to infiltrate Microsoft and make sure they make horrible decisions, and so they crumble, fall on their own sword.
I don't think they needed him to do that, but yeah. It's a good debate whether or not DirectX is a benefit or a hindrance to the world.
Yeah.
What is this news about Battlefield? Supporting DirectX 11.1? Does it really matter? And what are you going to get out of it with everything that is out there right now? Why is it so important that DirectX is supported?
Is it that it's supported, or is that they're developing it exclusive with DirectX 11.1?
I don't see anything that says it is exclusively going to require DirectX 11.1, which means you can only play Battlefield 4 on Windows 8. I see that DirectX 11 will be supported, but I don't see that it is exclusive. So I'm missing that point.
Yeah, I thought I saw something. I didn't look into the article, but I thought I saw something that said with DirectX 11.1, which I think is exclusive to Windows 8.
That is.
That it would take some load off the CPU.
Right, but I don't think that it's I don't see that anything. It says it'll support DirectX 11. It does not mean that it'll only work with DirectX 11. So I think it'll still be compatible with your Windows 7 machine, because I am not going to get Windows 8, and that is then.
I doubt that I'm getting Battlefield 4.
Oh, me too. But you know what? There's that small possibility still, and if they make it Windows 8 only, then
there is a small possibility. What game did they do that where you had to buy Vista?
Halo 2.
Probably.
It was Halo 2, and
I didn't buy that one either.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't. And it was crazy. They've also, oddly enough, they repeated the same mistake, and they've released a twin stick shooter based on the Halo universe for Windows 8 and Windows 8 devices exclusively, as if like it's going to encourage people to go out and buy those devices. And the other odd thing is that it's a twin stick shooter without support for a gamepad with twin sticks. Only for Microsoft.
Nice. It's a button mashing game without any buttons. Sorry, little oversight on our part, but
you win.
Call it Halo Spartan Assault or something.
See, they were ahead of the game. The no button game. You don't even need a button.
No button game.
So I don't know.
How the fuck do I play this game? There's no buttons.
You don't. You watch it and you win.
You watch it and win. Oh, don't give Activision any more ideas. All that's cutscenes for life.
Yes.
Cutscene for the win.
Achievement earned.
Well,
I bet there's a video.
Yeah.
I saw a battle log video, like the new implementation of battle log for Battlefield 4 earlier this week.
I was gonna put that into the topics, and I was watching it. And I'm like, I watched this last time when the last Battlefield came out with the battle log stuff, and when the game came out, I just didn't care. So why do I care now?
Well, they've implemented all these new features, which I think are just unnecessary. They're there for the sake of being there. And this is this video. It's, I don't know, 2 to 4 minutes long, somewhere in between, and it shows all these different abilities that even when you're not in the game, you can be on your phone or your tablet and sort of change your loadout in between. Like when you're about to respawn, you can be on your tablet or something, or you can set up your tablet to show an overview of the map and then show where your teammates are, and like sort of all this crazy stuff that you have to do on different devices. And it's just, it made me think, like, why do I want one game to take over my entire life? I don't understand it.
Well, that happens all the time.
You've never played WoW. I've never played WoW either, but
I mean, it's Battlefield 4. It's not the one and only game.
It's not real life.
Yeah, it's not real life. But leave it to these people to want to make it your life, where it's on your phone, it's on your tablet, it's on your laptop, it's on your PC. It's everywhere, sort of just invading every aspect of your life.
Yeah, that's right, Breezy. But what you got to do is you're going to get a headset, like some sort of head net thing that goes on, and you can support your iPhone here and your other Android device here, and then you get tunnel vision from those blinders to your TV. So you get all this information right at your and your console here, and you can type with your feet on this giant keyboard.
The foot,
so that you
footy,
can,
or
like,
the foot stink, the stinky foot. That's it, right?
Stinky foot. Yeah.
Isn't that the name of that board? Yeah.
I think it was, yeah. Stink something.
Stinky idea.
Stink pad or something.
I think it was a stink foot.
Yep. The worse you smell, the better you play.
Uh-huh.
You don't need buttons that way.
The Kinect is the solution to the buttonless game.
Yeah, I guess it is. It's always on.
You know what, Ham?
Yeah.
He got to make a musical chairs game for the Kinect.
Maybe I should.
For the Kinect, yeah, that's
The
interesting.
Kinect, and it scopes out your room and says these are the chairs. And if you sit this way, if you're sitting in a chair that is actually not there, then you get to put on the dunce hat. And then, well, no, little Timmy, don't cry. You're not out of the game. You're just in a different game now. You're in the I'm too stupid to realize that there's no chair there game. Put this dunce hat on.
And when they lose, zoom in on their face, make it really big on the screen. Really get it to them. Loser! Flashing on there. Yes.
Just have to have the L track on the head.
We'll name it something like the character building game or something.
They're all running around, and the ones that have lost are just this giant L. Loser!
They're all gonna laugh at you.
We're
gonna have a carry situation.
Tantrum EXE has failed to start. Initializing parent.
Yes, parent cannot be found. Try again.
Parent cannot be found.
Okay, GTA 5. I'm closing too many windows by accident here. Okay, Grand Theft Auto
showed up.
Grand Theft Auto was this is supposed to be coming out for exclusive for one of the consoles or all the consoles, and and then maybe if we're lucky they'll put it out for PC, and they're also talking about how maybe if we're lucky they'll put it out for Wii, which I don't think anyone really cares, but a lot of people do care whether or not it would be out on the PC, and we were talking about that last week I think it was. And now and then they started up that petition, the petitions that do nothing. Well, it passed the 200,000 signatures list point, and it probably still won't mean a damn thing, but it's there, and it's in the news, and people want you to know that it's out there. And
I think it's coming. It was coming to PC no matter what. It was always coming, even if it's going to be late.
No, I don't know where you're getting that information. You're still basing it on assumptions.
I'm basing it on assumptions. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just my sort of personal assumption is that it was always coming to PC. It is coming to PC, even if it's going to be 6 months to a year late. It's going to be there. There's yet to be a single major Grand Theft Auto game that has not been on PC. I don't see this to be any different, especially since they're making it for next generation systems that have an even closer architecture to PC, which should make the port even easier.
I could see them not supporting it. I could see them doing it.
I think so.
Yes. Who wants to play GTA 5 on a Windows 8 machine? It's just how it is.
I don't think they want to have to go through this game that it took years for 500 plus employees, all of them, to build. And now they're going to have to go through every aspect of the game and figure out how to map it to a keyboard and figure out how to change all the language and text and everything that pops up so that it doesn't say press the X to continue. And they're going to have to go through it and make it sure that it supports every kind of video card combination with drivers and everything like that. I don't think they're going to... There's a good possibility that they don't want to and won't do it, and then will instead just move on to the next GTA because it'll take too long.
It'll be GTA craft.
It's possible. I'm almost sort of on the other line of reasoning, saying that they put all this effort into it, and it'd be too much of a waste to not give it to the widest available audience.
Like Battlefield.
Are you calling us fat?
Yes.
You are the widest people available.
It is tough work.
It'll most likely come to the PC, but I still think there's a possibility that it won't.
So here you have it. We have a straight up split where foil is the glass half empty and ham is the glass half full. Place your bets now.
I had to sit there and think, why would such a game take years to construct when they had something to work off of with 500 plus employees?
Because they had all that Kickstarter money that they had to spend.
500. Can you imagine having 500 people programming and drawing on a game for years?
They're called minions.
And then you take a look at the game and you start to understand, oh yeah, it's not just this open world game, it's also a billion mini games. We can play golf, we can race, we can work out, we can...
It's incredible. The scope of it is just breathtaking when you look at those trailers.
And now that has to be done for PC.
Everything. I mean, I suppose it depends upon how they put together the game on the back end, how much of that stuff is easily translatable to the PC. I've got this hunch that they're not far off. Like it can work on PC, and it can relatively.
Seriously,
easily.
you've got what, 8 buttons and an analog stick. It's not that tough to keyboard map.
Well, maybe it'll be. Maybe it'll all be based on the launch. If the launch is a bad launch, if they comes out and they have to put patch on patch, then it might not happen. Then it probably won't happen, because it means that there's so many bugs in it that they can't even support all the different PC configurations.
Yeah, look at GTA 4 on PC. I mean, that came out a while later, but that had really steep requirements.
But it didn't have all these mini games.
It didn't have all the mini games or anything like that. But it required a hefty PC. It still didn't necessarily work right. But I think if you can just sort of slap a hefty systems requirement on it and just say, hey, you need to have this, or this type of configuration. They can just do that and call it a day. Not have to worry about too many different configurations.
Yep. All right. We're coming up on an hour, so what topics do you want to talk about that's left over here from the last week?
Well, we can throw out there the fact that AB is buying out Vivendi.
Activision Blizzard is buying out Vivendi. Now, I'm a little bit confused as far as the significance of that. And I will also point out that buying out does not mean, here's your money, go home. It means we're buying out a majority of the shares, so we have the rights to do whatever the hell we want.
Well, they're buying out Vivendi's portion, or the larger portion of Vivendi, so that they've got control of their own company instead of a board. I mean, you'll probably still have a corporate board, but it'll be an AB controlled board instead of a typically you have a minority or at least a 50% where you can get outvoted and end up in a stalemate with the rest of your shareholders. Now they can be 100% corporately driven. It may be a good thing, it may be a bad thing. We may see some higher quality games come out of there with a different mindset, or we may see more of the same shit, playing it safe, pooping out a Call of Duty every 6 months and charging $80 for it. It's, that's the other side of the coin that could happen. It depends on what the driving force vision is going to be behind that corporation now.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of decisions Vivendi really made. We're always...
I know that.
Got that, so... It seems like
control games. They say it's said that Vivendi controls Activision Blizzard because I guess Vivendi owns Activision Blizzard.
Yes.
Technically, and so now Activision Blizzard bought their rights back to do whatever. So now they control themselves, which could be bad.
It just seems like a big money shift. Like, I'm not sure what effect it's going to have on the products they put out.
And my goodness, this Bobby Kotick. I didn't know he had that kind of cash. Activision, it says Vivendi, Activision Blizzard threw down about $8.2 billion. Activision will pay about $5.83 billion in cash, while investment group led by CEO Bobby Kotick will pick up $2.34 billion.
Yeah.
I like how they say that. The publisher of titles like Call of Duty and World of Warcraft and Guitar Hero before they ran it into the ground. Activision reported $1.05 billion in net revenue for Q2. You know what? It's all internal reports and estimates again. Mm-hmm. Your shareholders are looking at that and thinking,
Yeah. I mean, these are incredible amounts of money, and when you're dealing with that much money, the risk that you're willing to take that decreases so much, and I'm just not certain of what's going to happen. I would feel more confident and positive about this news if there was something additional to it to say that as a result we're going to invest or create or spin off smaller studios to create things that are more original.
Which is funny because the third comment down, does this mean Activision Blizzard are going to start calling themselves indie now?
And they probably will.
Yep. Look for their next game on Kickstarter.
Because they don't have enough to get it out the door without your help. I don't know. We've seen it time and time again. You've got these smaller productions that do something very inventive or something original, even if it's not unique, but it's just something worth paying attention to. But then as they grow, they want to invest more, but they don't want to take as much risk with that. And so you just become these things that these companies that produce the same thing over and over and over again. And I don't know. The fans aren't really putting up a fight to say we want something different, so they keep doing the same thing. I'm not sure if you would even call them fans anymore. They're just sort of ATM machines.
Okay, what else are we talking about? Anything?
Well, there's that big news from yesterday, from last night, that Fez, I think it's worth mentioning, the creator of Fez, Phil Fish, has canceled Fez 2.
And how is this significant? I'm not really big on. I don't know this title.
Okay.
The thing that just irks me about this is this personifies the conversation that we've had all day, where I'm mad at you. I'm canceling. Fuck you. I'm out of here. I'm taking screw you guys. I'm taking my ball and going home. That's what this is. That is what this is. This is a juvenile temper tantrum.
It really is. So Fez, for foil and people who may not know what it is, Fez, F-E-Z, is a game that was in development for about 5 years, and it came to the Xbox 360 last year as an Xbox arcade game. Just earlier this year, got ported to PC. And this guy behind the title, Phil Fish, one of the main developers, he has garnered a lot of hatred over the last few years, and he's become very unpopular amongst much of the gaming community, both other developers and players, because of some of the comments he makes.
He's a douche.
There you go. That kind of sums it up.
Really?
That's pretty much the feeling, the majority feeling amongst people. So Fez is a side-scrolling sort of pseudo. It's like a 2.5D puzzle game, and it's sort of unique. It's abstract. It's kind of cool. But leave it to some of the comments to sort of speak for themselves. You would think this guy is like, his games are the second coming of Christ, and anybody who doesn't agree with him is wrong. And he often gets into arguments and on Twitter and things like that with other people. It's just and he has these sort of very unpopular opinions.
Hello, everybody.
About other game developers. I think we got a video here.
There's a video of Fez.
He really reminds me of that guy from Ubisoft, the guy that was the greatest fucking developer in the world. What the hell was his name? Was it Ubisoft?
Sounds like U-Bowl.
U-Bowl.
Yeah.
We are just being imbued with the magical powers that will carry us through the rest of the game.
It's a cool game for what it is. I wouldn't call it anything necessarily revolutionary, but it's cool. It's cool, and it's worth giving a look or a playthrough if the price is right.
If this developer's a jerk, then I'm going to say, don't take a look. Screw him.
Yeah.
He deserves not to get your money.
Play Dr. Nano.
Yes, play Dr. Nano instead. So that's the thing. It's even if you don't buy it, I suppose it's worth taking a look if you find him to be a jerk. But last night on Twitter, the guy gets in a heated discussion with a games journalist, and the games journalist is, I guess, calling him out on not coming forth with like some sort of direct criticism one way or another of the new Xbox policies, the Xbox One independent developer policies. And this developer's kind of egging him on, saying, look, man, people like you are self-styled kings of the indie scene, and basically just a whiny person. So he's kind of like just chewing Phil Fish out, the creator of Fez. And this guy has had enough.
In 128 words or less.
Yeah. And so Phil Fish sort of gets angry and says basically, like, I've had enough of this abuse from the press and people who call themselves fans and all this other stuff, and I'm done with it, and I'm not going to make any games anymore. Fez 2 is canceled. The sequel is gone because I've had enough. That kind of just gives into the argument that yes, you are a whiny person. You can't take criticism. But it's pretty big news that a games journalist has caused a games developer to quit. And I think a lot of people were looking forward to Fez 2, and now it's over. And I think the whole idea is that by saying he quits, he's trying to make it so that the games developers looked at as the evil guy. Like he wants people to hate this games developer or games journalist because this should be the guy forever known as the guy who caused Fez 2 not to be released. I think that's sort of his plan.
This way he can take the Kickstarter money and run.
Yeah.
Let me see. Google Kickstarter Fez 2.
No, don't bother.
Yeah. So, and I guess it's important for the show because this was scheduled to come out for the Xbox One, I believe, or maybe even the Play. No, I think possibly the PS4 and PC. It was going to be on PC for sure. And the reason I don't believe it was going to come to another Xbox platform was because Phil Fish had basically said he had a bad experience with developing the game under Microsoft's, I guess, authoritarian regime.
He wanted to do something Microsoft wouldn't help him, and he got all pissy with them. Yep.
It might be the case. It's certainly a possibility. We don't know because we don't know all the details, but it's possible.
Now, the only Fez that shows up on Kickstarter is a open source programmable handheld console game called the Fez-O.
Okay.
So, a lot of people were looking forward to the sequel. The sequel will not be created, and supposedly this game's journalist is to blame. I think that's his plan.
I don't think it's a journalist. Don't blame a journalist.
Well, the journalist being the culmination of it all, because I think he later added that it wasn't necessarily just the game's journalist himself. It was just all the abuse in quotes that he's taken. And so that's it. He's just supposed to get out of the games. I think if you can't take people sort of deriding you or what you make, then you have no business being in a creative medium, because it happens and it's something you've got to live with. Not everybody's going to like your stuff.
Haters be hating.
Yeah. As long as you can sort of, as long as the audience that you want it to enjoy your game enjoys your game, then I think you succeeded.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a starving artist anymore. They're all spoiled artists.
Yeah.
Artists? Artistas?
Artistes.
Artistes.
That's a big lesson for you. You make something, not everybody's going to enjoy your stuff. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
But
make a video game for the Amish.
Try that out.
Power. No light.
So they win by default.
It's called a book. Open book to win.
All right. I think we should wrap it up on that note, right?
On the Amish? Amish.
On the Amish.
We're going from 8-bit to Amish.
Okay.
It's called Cow 2.0.
I'm going to thank our host for taking the time out of the chat today. Ham, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Stryder, thank you very much for joining us today.
It's an adventure.
Yes, yes. Your adventure is just beginning. Finally, I want to thank you, the fans of Mods on Air and the subscribing members of ModsOnline.com for making this show possible. We'll be back next week with more, so have fun. Stay dry. Thanks for watching this week, and come back next week when we will broadcast another live show. Details for this and all past episodes can be found at ModsOnAir.com. We welcome your feedback via email at mailbag@ModsOnAir.com. And please consider subscribing to ModsOnline.com to support our show. The opinions expressed by individuals on this program are not necessarily the opinions of our sponsors, owners, or partners. See, I'm just going to end it there.
Just there. There's nothing. Well, I guess people should know I like to dance.